We thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sisi. I come from Esasani. How may I assist you with your questions and dialogue today?
Hello, Sisi. How are you doing? Everything
Wonderful.
okay?
Yes, yes.
Great. I have had a session with you before last time.
Yes, I remember. I remember.
Thank you very much for coming in again through the channel. Okay, so Sisi, I have a question. I don't know why it's coming up in my mind these days. It's like it's related to my grandmother. I don't know why this theme has come up to my mind. My grandmother from my mother's side, she committed a suicide. I don't know how many years ago, when she was 21 years old. And I would like to know why is it coming up into my mind? Because for example, last week, my mom, when she spoke to me on telephone about it, she gave me details about it, and I was like, I didn't show anyone about my tears. I was like, when I went to my room, I started crying, and I was like shocked, and I was like, because she gave me more details about it, and it was like her she jumped off a cliff of a mountain, and her legs were tied, and she died in the sea. And the thing is that people say it's a suicide, and from my point of view, when if her legs were tied, I don't know if it was a suicide or was it pre-planned by some other people who were involved in it or not. So my question is, why is it coming up now to me in my mind, and what happened? What really happened? Because I'm really curious about it.
Yes. So you are processing the emotions that your family lineage has experienced through this type of process or this type of theme. So you are working through the emotional aspects as you become more aware of more details in regards to the experience that had taken place with your grandmother that have passed on, that have chosen to transition because it was a choice to transition, even if it was assisted or not. She did choose this down into a cell level. So you could say that you were processing some emotional aspects because in the family lineage, there are parts of the experience that have not been, you could say, integrated. And we don't necessarily mean you yourself, but coming from your mother's perspective, maybe even some of the other families that is involved in your particular theme in your life. So other parts of your family that may not have fully integrated the experience as it has been several years, but the you could say wound in a way in your own perspective is still lingering. So this is why you are starting to feel this emotion, because many of the family members, such as your mother, may not feel prepared, may not be ready to fully let go and to fully allow themselves to make peace with this idea. Because although it may not come up for your mother daily, it still is in the back of her mind. It is still in the back burner, you could say. So this has allowed you to be able to process some of these emotions and take some of the burden from your mother, from your lineage, so that way the energy works in much of a flowing manner. Now, we will speak very briefly on suicide because the channel herself has had a recent death of suicide in her family. So we will mention a couple aspects as we have created a video not too long ago about the death process in regards to where the soul goes in reference to this type of experience. We will say to you that when a person transitions or when a person chooses to take their own life into transition, they are going into a higher state. They are forcing their soul, you could say, or making the choice to move into a place where they are able to work out certain energetic structures in a soul format. So they may not be ready when this occurs to be able to finish the remaining of their life, and this is why they choose this. They choose to walk into a higher perspective or higher realm where they can work closely with the individuals involved in their reality. So what that means is she is able to get closer to your mother on a soul level to help her work through any differences that she may be experiences, but also in terms of your own particular connection with your grandmother, she is able to work closely with you. She is also able to work closely with the pets, because we do see these pets around that she has had some time with. If you've had any animals, or your mother has had any animals that have passed on, she is showing us that she is with these animals as well. So she is working as a gatekeeper in a way to assist souls that are transitioning back into the spirit realm. She is working in this sort of way. Now, your question in regards to whether or not this was decided or chosen by her, or if this was an orchestrated event, we can tell you that there was some assistance that did take place. There was a particular individual. We do not have the name of this particular individual at this time, and it is not relevant, as she says that this was her choice to make this, and this person did assist her in this process of taking her own physical life. But she's saying that she is not actually gone. She is not dead, she says. She is still alive, very much alive in spirit, and she is always there assisting and guiding you, as well as several other family members. And also she is showing us people in different, you could say, realities, or past life, you could say, or even just the past. She is with them, specifically assisting.
Good. So, one question. The person who assisted in her suicide, was that person my grandfather?
One moment while we look more deeply to see if this information is available. One moment. We do not get that it was the grandfather. We get that it was a friend of hers at this particular time. It was a male, but this was a friend that assisted her. There was some. This was a friend that assisted a friend. And it was a male friend. And there were some complications, you could say, at this time frame between your grandmother and your grandfather, but he did not play a role in this per se. She did feel as though she was trapped and she could not find a way out of the experience. So this did play a part in her choice. But this was more, you could say, yes, this was on a physical level in the choice that she made, but she is saying that this was not the entire culprit. It was her choice on a soul level to transition, to be able to assist more closely in the spiritual realm.
Now my question is, that friend of her, did she ask that friend, please help me in the suicide or something like this?
Yes, this is correct. Yes, this was something that she asked for assistance on. And this particular individual has had to weigh on himself this particular choice that he had made. So he did process many of the emotional aspects. He has felt regret, guilt, and those sort of things. But this particular individual is not currently on this earth any longer. But they did experience many different, you could say, challenges along their life's path.
Exactly. I want to understand one thing. I mean, I was born in a Muslim society where there is a lot of limitations. And for example, I was taught many things which the religion teaches us, like don't do this, don't do that, and stuff like this. And I have faced a lot of negativity also in my past. Were they themes that I really chose to explore? Because it has been really hard for me, you know?
Well, yes, of course. Everything that you have in your awareness, everything that you have in your life, you have chosen in a soul level. Because even though the experiences might have been challenging, and even looking back now as a physical being, and you are more heightened, more aware, but even looking back at the experiences, if you are looking at it from the vibrational aspect where you are meeting vibration with vibration, so if you are meeting that frequency to look into the past, then yes, it will seem very complex and complicated, and it may make you feel as though you did not choose this. But if you choose to look at this in a higher perspective, in a higher awareness, this can allow you to be able to see it more in depth for the lessons, or you could say the integrative aspects in which you can use currently. Because we will share a little bit of information with the channel in regards to something the channel has recently explored. She has had a particular awareness about a belief in terms of worthiness. This particular belief stemmed back, she traced this all the way back to being in the mother's womb, and had noticed that she did not necessarily take this belief on in a conscious effort, but it was something that was brought down through, you could say, the connection with the mother, because the mother did not want to have the child. And there were many different disruptances happening in the home within the family structure. And this caused Stephanie, the channel, to be born with a belief that she was not good enough, or that she was not supposed to be here. But as she had explored this belief, she had recognized from a higher point of view that the only reason why she had chosen to explore this type of theme was so that she herself could test her ability in terms of her awareness, her mastering her reality, her being able to shift and transition different belief systems to be more transformative. This was a theme that she chose to explore in her reality, as she as a master. She is a master, so this had allowed her to be able to do this. Knowing herself as a master, she knew that she was able to transform this. Where in your circumstances, this particular themes that you have played out are also part of a similar wavelength, similar path. You knew that you could only take on what you can handle. So although at the time it may have been very challenging, or it might have seemed to be very challenging, and even looking back again, if you meet it with vibration, then you will see it this way. But if you move into a higher point of view above this vibration, into a higher vibration, then you are able to see all aspects of the different challenges and the different themes that you had explored.
I get it. And okay, so I know this. Okay, I have a question about my sister. My sister, she is autist. I think I will call her an autist, but she cannot hear and she cannot speak. And it's like I want to know, because when she was born in good conditions. She was healthy, but let's say after maybe 2 years or 1 year and a half or something, she started to deteriorate, and we start to see that she was an autist and that something happened to her. We don't know what really happened to her. So I want to understand what really happened to her, my sister, because she was healthy. She didn't have any autism, and all of a sudden she started to have autism. I don't know.
So how long before she became autistic? What age was she diagnosed with autism?
The thing is that she wasn't taken to the doctors, because in that moment we were living in Africa, and in that moment, like, it wasn't like we didn't have that notion that let's take her to the doctor or something. But we think that she has autism, because this is what I think. I don't know if she has been diagnosed. I don't know the word diagnosed by it, but
Diagnosed.
yeah, diagnosed by it. But that's what I think, that she is an autist. I don't know if you can peek into
Well,
her.
when it comes to particular disorders such as autism is what you could say of a different way of experiencing a reality, just as any other type of disorders are. In particular, your sister was exposed to many different types of, you could say, vibrations, many different types of experiences that were occurring around in the family structure, but also around in the particular vicinity of where you resided. During this time, there were many different, you could say, spirits working with her on many different levels, and she had chosen to explore reality in a way where she could now have more of, you could say, a heightened perception, because although she may not be able to speak, although she may not be able to hear, she is able to use her other senses to be able to exist, to be able to communicate in different types of ways. And this particular theme, this particular experience in which she is playing out, not only is it for her own ability to be able to, you could say, explore reality in a different way, but also she is a teacher. She is a guide on many different levels to many different types of people. Now, you can ask yourself in your own particular circumstances, what has this taught me? What have I gotten from this experience? Because not only is this a co-creation, so not only is this an experience for you to learn something from this particular situation, but it's also her own journey, but also those around her in terms of how they are interacting with her. So, in a way, you could say that she is using her ability to be able to allow different types of energies to be transmitted, so people are aware and people are getting adjusted to different types of energy vibrations. So she had chosen to take on different types of, you could say, activations, different types of circumstances where she is living, I guess you could say, in different dimensions at one time, and this allows her to be able to operate in the ways she's operating. So she's able to use her energy in a different sort of way. She has very strong healing energy, so she can use her awareness to be able to guide those that are, you could say, stuck in old type of patterns, old type of cycles. She can use this ability to be able to help transform them. And just by being in her presence alone, this energy in which she is transmitting, even though she is not able to speak, they are able to pick up on it in a subconscious way. So she's also providing different activations, also integrating different energies for them to use to be able to adjust to new energies, such as what you would consider the hybrid children, very similar energetic structure.
The thing is that why I think it's autism is because she is in her world. When we are around her eyes, she rolls her eyes, she's looking up, and then she's in her world, and it seems like she's not here. And apart from that, I had this feeling that she had what do you call some interactions with the gray beings or something like they, for the hybrid agenda or something related to it. I don't know. Can you clarify on it?
Well, yes, that's what we are saying. She had interactions not only with hybridization program, but also with different, you could say, shamanic type spirits as well. So in her particular circumstances, you say that you're using the terminology autistic, but do you understand what autism is? Because this is, again, a disorder that is placed on those that have different types of, you could say, heightened awareness. These beings that exhibit these different types of autistic energies are heightened, are sensitive, more sensitive due to the fact that they are carrying much more higher vibration. They are containing more extraterrestrial DNA. So this is what autism truly is, down to the core of it. But there are many different factors depending on the particular individual. In your sister's case, it does appear that, yes, she has chosen this, but she is, again, existing in multiple dimensions. This is why at times you feel as though she is not physically present, although she is in such a way, but she also is, again, existing in different dimensions at one time. But she is still hearing, she is still able to perceive in a way, not hearing outside of the ears, but intuitively understanding in a vibrational type of energetic way.
Because the thing is that I had this feeling that she had interactions with, like you said, with gray beings, and that she was hybridized for the hybridization agenda. Because as far as I know, that the gray beings, they don't have emotions, and when I see her, she starts laughing all of a sudden, and she can start crying all of a sudden. It's like she's assimilating those emotions because she has some DNA modification or something like this. This is why I wanted to ask you this question.
Well, yes, she has, but also she is using many of the people around her as mirrors of reflection. So the emotion that she is exhibiting out many times is going to be the particular individual's deep-seated emotions. So if she is interacting with an individual or being around a certain individual, this particular individual may not be able to completely process an emotional state. Maybe there is a trapped emotion and she is simply letting it out for that person. So she works vibrationally in this sort of way.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Next question. What is, Sisi, what is your take on the coronavirus? Because it's propagating all over, I don't know, all over the world or not, but as long as I know that I have, well, I mean, me personally, being so spiritual in nature, I don't focus on it. I don't want to place my attention on it because I know that if the more I place my attention on it, the more momentum I give to this virus. But the
Yes.
thing is that what about those people who are right now in this country where they are facing this virus? For example, Iran, Japan, and other countries.
Well, they have manifested this for themselves. Now, we understand that the media does hype up the actual virus itself, but the more the virus is focused on, the more it will continue to multiply. So this is again a co-creation. There was a lot of different energetic structures that were occurring. It is a co-created agenda. So this particular virus is multiplying and it is causing you could say, disturbance within the community. This community is starting to spread outward in this particular virus. So many of the people that are being affected by the virus are going through different transitions in their body and in their mind, spiritually as well. And there is not much we can speak about this because it is still occurring at this time. We do not want to bring too much attention to the idea, but we want to share with you a few simple thoughts that may assist you and, you could say, lessening the process of the exploration or the expansion of this particular virus. Remember that everything and anything that is occurring right now in this very instance is a choice. So what this means is there were just different disturbances that people were buying into, whether on a subconscious or a conscious level. They chose to take on this particular virus in their body. They are receiving different types of upgrades, different types of energetic recalibrations in the body to be able to, you could say, adjust their frequency levels to be able to withstand more contact. This may not seem very feasible at the moment. It might seem far-fetched, but this is indeed what is occurring. Now, we will say that as a whole, as a community, as the social collective continues to remain focused on this and becoming more afraid, as the initial point of view that caused this virus to start to multiply was due to the fear that was occurring in the community and the collective. So the more we focus on this particular circumstance, the more it will multiply because the fear is what's fueling, you could say, the fire. So in order for us to completely transform and completely move on to a higher perspective where this disease no longer is multiplying in such a way, you will need to allow yourself to be more in a balanced state of mind in your center point, as Bashar has mentioned, moving into the year 2020. This is just the iceberg. There is many more things to come in your reality as you are shifting through different versions of Earth, choosing the one that is most suitable for you. So we say to you in this, do not be fearful. Allow yourself to remember who you are. Allow yourself to remain balanced, remain in your center. And you will continue to work through different vibrations. You will continue to process different multiple versions of Earth that feels the most alignment with you and your vibration. And
Oh,
when we
thank you.
say you, we are not speaking to you directly. We are speaking to you, but we are also speaking to the collective.
Okay, thank you very much for your guidance. I hope that my viewers and your viewers of Stephanie will take it into account because it's like everywhere, everyone is talking about it, and I'm not placing any attention on it, but I have people that I admire in Iran and I have people who I admire in other countries. So I just wanted them, because some of them are on this channel, so I wanted them, those viewers, to listen to it because I know personally that we don't have to focus on it and we don't have to approach it with a fear-based premise, because the more we approach it with that fear, the more we fuel it, we make it stronger.
Yes, this is true. And we will say to you that we have said the similar message when it comes to the Australia fires, the wildfires that were taking place, as well as the different war that is currently happening now. There are many different, you could say, processes or themes that are currently played out, and you just have to choose if you want to be a part of this theme or not. And if you choose to remain in your center, if you choose to remain and understand that these are all co-created endeavors, you can choose to be in a reality where you do not have to have this type of experience. But again, as you continue your process, you will still be able to peer into other realities of possibilities for your life. But if you continue to move in the path of your excitement with no insistence on the outcome and remain in your center, this can allow you to shift away from those types of realities. Pretty soon in the uplying future, you will no longer be able to even perceive these realities because they no longer will be accessible to your vibration as you continue to move into your higher vibration state.
Thank you very much. I have a question about sex. The thing is that why am I drawn towards, my attention is drawn towards Tantra?
Well, when you are working with higher vibration energies, many of the different civilizations do not have sexual intercourse in the way that humans do. They use more of, you could say, a tantric style where you are connecting on a more vibrational sequence. So this is a higher vibration type of connection. The physicality of sexual intercourse has many different levels. Now, as human beings, the agreement is that you will co-create these type of experiences because physically this is what the body may require at times for some individuals. But as you are moving into a higher state, you are connecting deeper into what you would call different soul aspects, different vibration energies. So what this means in tantric practice is this is the combination of the physical sensations of the body, but being able to move in a, you could say, balanced state of your own body and your own spirit, and being able to combine this interaction with another being if you so choose to. If you do not choose to have a practice of Tantra with another being, you can do this on your own with your own self. And pretty much this is just the awareness that you have everything you need. You do not need anything or anyone, even for a sexual, you could say, interaction.
But the thing is that, is it the way the orgasm that the person feels, is it similar to the physical one, or is it different?
Well, they are coming hand to hand. So they can create both. So yes, it is on a soul level in which you would experience the orgasm, but on the physical level, you can experience the same sensations depending on how connected you are to your body. So if you are working in what you call a grounded state, you will experience both.
Interesting, interesting. So, I mean, was it practiced, this sort of Tantra, by Lemurians and Atlanteans or something like this?
They did use this practice at times. Yes, we can confirm this.
Okay, great, great, great. Now, one thing, how do beings in your planet have sex with each other?
We use the similar process. So we do not necessarily have physical intercourses. We are more of a quasi-physical. So when we choose to have this type of interaction, it is more on a collective basis. So the energy frequencies, so we can co-create an experience with another being, such as a partner if we so choose to, but we do not need to. We have all that's required inside of our awareness to be able to experience orgasmic energy 100% of the time. But we can choose to have a deeper experience with a being, such as a partner, but it is felt through the collective energy. So when one person has this type of experience, the entire collective can have this type of experience as well.
Wow, amazing. And what about marriage in your society? Can you talk about it? Do you guys
It
marry
is
each other,
not
or?
really relevant to us. We are married as a collective. We do choose, sometimes some of us will choose mates to be with at the time because this is just what is most in alignment with us. We don't have any rules. We just follow our excitement with no insistence on the outcome. But marriage, you could say, is more or less on a collective basis. We are all married together in our society. But again, we can choose partners that we have experiences with, that we remain with if we so choose to. It depends on the individual.
What about the degree of compatibility? I understand that all of you are married to each other and that you could have like a sexual interaction or you could feel attraction towards one being on another. But the thing is that what about the thing of compatibility or jealousy? Because let's say you feel you have more compatibility with someone and you guys are all married to each other, but there is another person who has compatibility with the same person and sees that and could experience a little bit of jealousy, you know? Is there some sort of jealousy or
No,
sensations like this?
we do not have those type of experiences. Moving into the higher vibration, we understand that we are all whole. So jealousy is a form of insecurity, and this can generate when you do not feel you are enough. So when a person is, you could say, partnered up with another individual and there is a agreement that they do not have interactions in that sort of way with other people in our collective, we all work in a synchronistic, harmonious vibration. So if we are following our true excitement, we do not have these types of experiences, as we know we are worthy enough to be able to have a partner if we so choose. And we do not have those type of experiences on our, you could say, collective.
How does a newborn baby how's it born? For example, over here, a mother gives birth to a baby. Over there, how does it work in your civilization? Because it's quasi physical, right? It's not physical and non physical. It's like in between.
We no longer have, you could say, babies in our world. At one time, we did have a co creation where we were created through what you would call an embryo, and there were different DNA samples taken to be able to create us, but we no longer have this type of experience in our world. So we are mainly what you would call grown ups in this sort of way.
But then, how do the new? I mean, you. I mean, how are they? There's no such thing as birth.
Well, there
Like,
was at one point in our society, yes, but we no longer have those types of experiences as we became quasi physical.
quasi physical is like it's the midline between non physical and physical, right?
This is correct. We are moving into a non physical.
Non physical. So it's like you simply exist. It's not with as grown up, mature beings.
This is correct.
Okay, okay, I get it. And I want to know, will I ever have an interaction with an SSNE being consciously?
Well, you have already had many different experiences with some Sasani beings, but in a conscious effort, you can start to place the intention in the evening time when you go to sleep to be able to have a contact experience with a Sasani being that you remember. You can use the contact symbol in order to assist this co-creation by meditating on the contact symbol in the evening time, placing the intention to have contact and interactions and to be able to start to remember. But remember, when you place this intention out there, allow yourself to trust and know that the experience will unfold for you. And remember that you do not need to place an expectation. By just trusting and knowing that it will occur when the timing is available and right for you, you will have that experience.
Okay, thank you very much. Will I interact with Yahyel's civilization on a physical level? Because it's according to Bashar in the year 2025, window of 2025, 2033, they will be coming in contact with us or something like this. Will I be interacting with them?
You may have an interaction or two upline, but the open contact window has shifted a little bit further out than that. And we do understand that many of you will continue to have contact experiences. So, such as the channel herself will have contact experiences before that particular shifting window of contact. It depends on your energetics and where you are currently at. If you are available energetically to be able to have a physical interaction with the Yahyel. If it is relevant to your theme of exploration, you will receive a physical contact prior to the year of the shifting contact window. But it will all just depend.
Okay, thank you very much. I wanted to share with you an experience because last time I was talking about it, but the channeler had to the hour ended. the session ended. A few years ago, I remember when I had started to have this major spiritual awakening. I was going to work. I was on the bus, and there was my colleague. She was sitting right next to me, and she started to laugh. And I said, "What's going on?" Because she never spoke to me so much, but that day she was speaking to me, and she said, I can see your third eye right on your forehead open." And I said, "What do you see?" "An eye. What do you see?" She said, "It's like a hole, black hole, or something like that." I said, "Oh, okay. Can you perceive it?" She said, "Yes." And then on our way to work, I kept talking to her, and I was like, "Wow." She said, "Yes, I can perceive spirits." The thing is that I don't. When I was a child, I could perceive spirits, and my parents they took me to a psychologist. They started giving me drugs and stuff like this. So I had to say that I stopped seeing spirits, but I keep seeing them. And when we were at work, she used to wink at me, and she used to say, "Hey, he's behind you, the spirit, and he's walking, he's bald or whatever." And I said, "Oh, really?" I told her, "Can you tell it to me? Can you let me know whenever you see the spirits?" And she told me. But in that moment, I was in such a high state of vibration in that moment. I don't know how much it was my vibration, but I could feel the bioelectricity in my body. It was an electricity. It was like a warm electricity.
Yes.
Most of the time, it was in my hand that I used to feel it. And so I asked this girl, I said, "Look, all I have to do is close my eyes and I feel this electricity all over my body." And I try to tell people, but no one understands me, and they start to laugh. So I know that you understand me. I will close my eyes when there is no one there. When there was no one there, I sat on a chair in front of her, and I said, "I will close my eyes, just breathe in like the channeler does. Just breathe once or twice." And I felt that energy, and I had my eyes closed, and I said, "Can you see something?" And she said, "I perceive these big," and she was looking up. I didn't know what she was looking up to the ceiling. I was with my eyes closed. And she said, "They are here. They're here. They have their hands, but on you, they're transparent, white, tall beings, and they're very, very happy with you. And I can see their hands on your shoulder." And I was starting to get a little bit nervous. And I said, "Okay, I will open my eyes." When I opened my eyes, she was smiling, looking up to the ceiling. And I was like, "Are they that tall?" She said, "Yes." So who were they? Who are
These
they?
were the tall grays.
Okay, tall grays.
Yes. So they were working with you in regards to opening yourself up to different types of energies. They were, you could say, the forebringer of your awareness in terms of these other types of beings, these other types of realities in which you were experiencing during your, you could say, awakening. You were start to perceive different types of beings, such as extraterrestrial beings and being different light bringers, you could say. So they were one of the civilizations, the first civilizations that you were working with more in a conscious way, because they were working with you in order to make yourself more aware of the energies that are around you. And they were happy with you because of the choices and decisions that you have made in order to broaden yourself and to make that decision. Because although many different, you could say, awakenings happen for those on your planet, there is a lot of, you could say, agreements and choices that are made, because you can simply choose not to awaken if you so desire, but you chose to awaken. You chose to receive the information that was available, although you were not completely aware at the time when you started awakening of how important and how relevant this information was for your life. You still trusted it and you still continued the process, and they were simply happy with you for this experience.
Okay, thank you very much. And okay, why do I have in my mind that my higher self, the image of my higher self that I have, is a tall, white, blonde man with blue eyes? I have this image in my mind. Every time I think of my higher self, it's like blue eyes, tall, white, like Nordic, like Swedish people, I don't know, but very tall, blonde hair, blue eyes.
Well, these are what you would call the Pleiadian energy. So this is, you could say, a counterpart of yours that is reflecting to you. This is not your higher self. Your higher self does not have a physical, you could say, appearance. but you have chosen to view yourself in this sort of way. This is just another aspect of you. And the energy that you are feeling is your higher self, but this particular being that you are seeing in your mind's eye is an aspect of you. And this particular being is just showing you that he is present and that he is in your, you could say, soul structure, your soul family, your oversoul, because this is another aspect of yourself. So this is all that this being is allowing you to become aware of at this time. But yes, you could say that he is an aspect of your higher self, but it is not the higher self.
What is the name of my counterpart in your civilization?
In our civilization or the Pleiadian civilization?
Your Esasani.
You do have different beings that you have counterparts with Esasani. One moment while we see which name that we can share with you today. One moment. Argus. Argus. Argus.
Argus. Okay.
Yes.
And may I talk to my counterpart? Is it possible?
One moment while we see if the information is available, the vibration for the channel to be able to meet this vibration. One moment.
Sure.
We thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Argus. How can I help you?
Hello, Argus. How are you?
I am just peachy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming in through the channeler.
Yes.
Are you my counterpart in the Esasani society?
Yes, I am one of several of your counterparts. I work specifically in exploration.
Which type of exploration?
I use my scout ship to go to other worlds outside of our worlds.
Okay. So,
I do not have a place on Earth, so I do not travel to Earth often. I am several galaxies away.
Several galaxies away. Okay. Have you ever had an interaction with me on an astral plane?
I have had just a few. As you are beginning to become more aware of who you are, the experiences will be more broader. So we will have more experiences as you continue to learn and grow to see who you really are. You are not ready for more contact right now.
Is my frequency, at what frequency am I vibrating at right now?
One moment. You are fluctuating between 139 and 144.
Okay.
At the very
great.
moment.
At the very moment. Okay. And how much should be my frequency to meet the frequency? I mean, in order to start vocal channeling.
You can vocal channel now. It just takes practice by just being in the state of allowance and using whatever vibrations are necessary that you feel and perceive. You do channel already, but you do not vocal channel. As you continue your journey of practicing, practice is the key, you will start to develop more of that channeling chakra that allows you to vocalize things that are needing to be said.
Okay. Can I get back to Sisi, please?
Yes. It was a pleasure engaging with you today.
It was a pleasure for me also.
We thank you very much for joining us as we have returned. How may we assist you further?
Okay, Sisi, I had a dream with the several dreams with the channeler herself. I had in a dream where I saw her that she was, as far as I understand, because it was kind of vague the idea, but what I feel like is that she was teaching me how to channel. So, can you talk more about it?
Yes. So, as the channel does continue her process of being a guide to others and providing a support where is necessary, she was in a astral realm giving you different tips, but also your higher self was reflecting her energy also to assist you and your guidance to learn how to vocal channel. So all the while, the channel was sending vibrations to you in regards to learning how to open yourself to channel, but also you were using her as a mere reflection of your higher self. So in a way, you could say you were teaching yourself. You were using several of the different vibrations that you were connecting to from the channel, but you were using your higher self in order to teach yourself how to channel.
Uh-huh. And there was, oh, this was my first dream. The second dream that I had was that she was sitting right beside me, and I think there was a table, there were bottles there, and I was searching with her something on YouTube. What is that dream? What was that? Because I remember that I saw her, but she had green eyes. I think she had blue eyes, but in the dream she had green eyes, and she looked a little bit different. And I knew that it was her, but she had a different physicalized body.
So you were connecting to an aspect of her. This is many times, many of the different, you could say, appearances or reflections that she has used in different type of contact experiences. She is connected to many different civilizations, so she has many different counterparts. So this was one of the counterparts that she was reflecting in this particular instance, and the reason being why you were interacting with her was because she was using this particular archetype or this particular reflection to be a guide to your experience.
Okay. And I had another dream with her where I saw that she was on YouTube like this, the same thing, but there was a green board behind it. There was a guy who was bald like Bashar, but it wasn't Bashar. And he was teaching us all, like he was drawing interconnected circles. And that's what I saw. And I was like, why did I see this? And he was bald, like same appearance like Bashar, but it wasn't a Bashar. And he was drawing something on a green board and circles, interconnected circles.
So, this particular being is what you would consider to be a humanoid type being. This is from the seventh hybrid race. So, he was teaching different ideas, different, you could say, geometry ideas and calculations to the channel, but also in a way was reflecting this to you as you were watching, because the channel herself doesn't necessarily work with the different geometry designs, but she is slowly starting to receive different downloads to be able to interpret and to be able to provide guidance to those who are seeking. Because these particular geometry symbols are merely just permission slips. You can use these to connect to in order to assist you in your experiences. There is a vibration that is connected to these. But again, this was more or less a teaching from a seventh hybrid race, and these particular teachings were being downloaded through the channel, but also you were watching because you were also receiving the download as well, as this is part of your interest. And it also makes it much easier for the channel to connect when you are having an engagement such as the one today, where she is able to interpret some of these symbols for you.
Yes. The thing is that as we are not, I think we have only 13 minutes left. I won't talk about the symbols yet because maybe for the next interaction that we will have, because I want to have several interactions with the channeler via Skype, having a channeling session. Because the thing is that as far as the interconnected symbols are concerned, I I have a special connection, as I said, with the flower of life. And I think she looked at it. I sent her the symbol of flower of life. So at least the flower of life, you said last time that it was coming information from the celestial realm, but now you said about the seventh hybrid race, and I don't know why, but these interconnected circles, I think it is also connected to these or this flower of life to the seventh hybrid, because it's like I receive a lot of information about calculations, mathematics, and physics. The more I look at it, I have stopped looking at it because of some time, because I really want to integrate other information and understand more about reality. But the more I look at it, the more I get understand about so many phenomena about life, like calculations, mathematics, physics. So I want to know if it is related to celestial realm or to the seventh hybrid race.
Well, it is connected to both. The seventh hybrid race is a race that is uplined. So you could say this is your future race. And there are many different celestial energies that have, you could say, co-created, as you must understand that everything is connected. So there is not this or that, it's this and that. So to answer your question, it is both related. So initially, this particular symbolism did come from the celestial realm, but as we said, the seventh hybrid race is in the future. So with the futuristic race, they are using the current symbols now to be able to communicate to the channel in such a way that allows her to provide information to you and to others about the particular symbolism behind these symbols.
Uh-huh. What is there any possibility that I could talk to a vibrational being from the celestial realm related to the flower of life?
One moment while we see if any type of being is available to come through the channel. One moment.
Thank you very much.
We will be able to connect to a being from the celestial realm at this time, although the energies coming through will be a mix of the collective based energies of what you know as source energy. So we can use the energy from the celestial realm, such as through what you would call an angelic form, but do realize that this particular angelic form also will have what you know as source energy. So in a way, you could say this is a God energy as well. That will be coming through the channel.
Thank you very much.
One moment. Allow yourself to understand this is the seed of creation. This is a tool, a reflection that was created to assist those on your planet in your frequency to be able to move through the different thresholds and which have been endured from your society, from your collective. But we can share this particular geometry with you to help you on your way, to show you, to enlighten your path. Not all will be drawn to the symbol. Not all will be drawn to any of the sacred geometry symbols that are available.
Okay, I want to understand, is the flower of life like, do you have to be in a happy state of mind because in order to see the flower of life? Because I was gazing at the center of the flower of life when I was in a good state of mind or relaxed state of mind, and I used to get downloads of information about. It was so crazy. It was very crazy because it was like I could get downloads of information about Leonardo da Vinci, his Vitruvian Man, the drawing that he has made. I could get information about quantum mechanics, about physics, about chemistry, about biology, about mathematics, and I was getting so much information, and it was like. So my question is it like you have to? How do you have to work with the flower of life? Can you explain it to me?
These are all information based occurrences that you are tapping into. Do understand that each individual will have different experiences when interacting with these symbols. But to answer your question in a much more lighthearted way, as you allow yourself to receive the communication that is most relevant for your experience, will allow you to be able to be a channel where you are receiving those information in your cellular structure, but in your mind, in your heart. The best way to be able to be open to receive this is by allowing yourself to be in the heart. Allow yourself to feel the symbol. Do not allow yourself to question or think of what is happening. Why is this happening? There's so much chatter. There's so much chatter happening in the mind. It allows you to understand things at a physical level, but the heart allows you to receive what's needed to be received. So your experiences with this particular symbol and your ability to connect is your simple opening of the heart, because your intuitive nature, your receiving mode starts from the heart. And you are not thinking, you are allowing yourself to flow in this energy state. As you allow yourself to continue to do this in a practicing manner, you will receive more information as it becomes relevant to you. But you must not force, allow it to come to you.
Yes, most of the information that comes to me is related to free electricity. I get information. Next time I will be talking with you again, because right now we don't have enough time. But there was like, I get information about building some apparatus, some device for free electricity, and it is related to cubes, to spheres, interconnected spheres, and it's like cube and like a sphere within a cube, and then the cube is within a sphere, and it starts growing and getting bigger and bigger. It's it's like a fractal geometry. It's related to fractal geometry. That's what I perceive.
Yes. So your experience tells you the purpose behind your interaction with this particular flower. There is so much more that meets the eye. As you have your experiences and your connections, you will start to receive more information. But again, at most people that are connected to these particular symbols are having their own experiences based on their reality and their most relevant to their soul's journey.
Okay, thank you very much. How can I use this symbol? What should I do? Could you tell me a process that I could do in order to use the symbol? Because what I do is just not focus at the center. It's like I'm observing it. And while I'm observing it, everything starts to blur around me. I see like as if it's vibrating. Everything is vibrating. I can even see the circles moving. I can see that the page starts to move where I have printed out the symbol. So I'm trying to understand, how can I use it in such a way that it would be like just staring at it, or what could I do? Any ritual? I don't know, any sort of process that I could do it related to it?
There is no process that needs to take place. The only process is what we have already mentioned to you, opening your heart, feeling it out with your heart. Do not focus on the symbol in terms of how it looks. How does it feel to you? How does it feel? Allow your heart to be your guide. Your heart is your guide. You will receive the information that's relevant to your experience through the heart.
And who is sending me this information while I stare at, while I gaze at it? I get downloads like very, very fast. Where is it coming?
Your higher self.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. And did they use this symbol in Lemuria?
They did, yes.
Okay. Will we use this symbol like in Earth for I mean, will we in the long run also use this symbol for something?
As you progress during your lifespan and when you move into the higher vibrations, you will start to understand that these are tools. They are tools that can be used, but they are not necessary.
Okay. I understand it. So, so related to the flower of life, because I've seen so many geometries. Are you aware of Serpensky triangle?
In some senses, yes, from a vibrational aspect, but the channel is not familiar with this.
Okay, thank you very much. So what I have to do is open my heart while I'm looking at it, or something like this, right?
Allow yourself to feel it. The restrictions that we are feeling is the one of the mind, because your mind is trying to make sense of too much what is happening, because you are attempting to integrate it, but you are attempting to integrate it the wrong way, because your heart is the guide. Your heart is going to give you all the information you need in reference to anything in life, but specifically when you are referencing this symbol, the heart is going to be the guide. It is going to give you what you need in order to create what it is that you are. You could say part of yourself, part of your higher self speaking to you in many different ways. And this is one way in which your higher self is speaking to you, by allowing yourself to open up the heart and feel out. Feel. Do not think. Feel. This will be your experience in terms of how you use the information that becomes available to you while you are feeling out this symbol.
There was this guy called Jumvalo. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is the channeler aware of him? Jumvalo.
No, but you may formulate the question. Our session has come to an ending.
Thank
We send our gracious, loving gratitude to you. Hi.
Hi. Are you okay?
Yeah, my eyes, they always like, when I open them, it takes me a few minutes to come back because like I'm deep in, and then I'm like, my eyes are like, don't want to open.
No problem. I didn't get to talk more about so much about the symbols, because all I talked about was flower of life, because there were so many questions. So definitely I'm going to have more and more sessions with you, because I'm really excited about asking so many questions. But today she gave me Sisi, she or he, I don't know if they have sex, I mean male or female. Do they have male or female, or is it like
For
they're
who?
what?
For
In
who? Uh,
SSani.
Sasani?
Yeah.
Sasani, well, Sisi is a female.
Okay. So I spoke to Sisi. I had a very good chat with her, and she told me a lot of things. But I couldn't talk about the symbols yet. Just about the flower of life. You got to connect. You are getting to connect to the realm. What do you call it?
Oh,
You connected to the
sorry,
celestial realm.
1 second.
Sure.
I didn't realize it was already. Hold on. I didn't realize it was that time. So,
Don't worry.
okay. So I went ahead and
You have another session right now?
yeah, I do at 5:30. So I was just sending him a message letting him know that I'll be ready in a couple minutes. So that way there, because it's already 5:30. But yeah, so what I'll do is we'll be able to follow up after if you want to send me a message of what you